Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series. 12 drivers set to take the green flag here at Kyoto Driving Park, and there's a couple of different layouts here at this racetrack. They are going to be driving the Yamagiwa layout, and as you can see, JRB is on the pole with defending NOSSCAR GT Cup Series champion Even Stevens starting in second. Pac-Man right there in third. Starting in fourth is Bill Baldwin. Jesse Carlson in fifth, Chris Ryan in sixth, Daniel McGriff in seventh, Percussive in eighth, Thomas Geyer in ninth, Crazy Legs in 10th, Rob Oglesby in 11th, and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in 12th. And the green flag has been shown to these drivers. JRB thunders them through the first couple of turns. They're all in hot pursuit. Pardon me. Toyota FT1 looking strong here throughout the entire practices and the test sessions all throughout the week, and JRB proving it. He's out front and looking good. There's Pac-Man running in third, the Mountain Dew Toyota FT1 with the pink number 21 Toyota FT1 of Bill Baldwin. Bill finished runner-up here last season in the 2019 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series with 4 wins that season and a great battle with Even Steven for the championship last year, and still a good battle in the points there between Even Steven and Pac-Man and Bill Baldwin. All three of those drivers still within striking distance of winning the championship. JRB not too far behind, but he's missed a couple of races this season. It's pretty much the only reason why JRB is not a part of the championship factor. As you can see, he's a factor in this race. He's leading and looking strong. They drive the GR3 cars here on Gran Turismo Sport. Balance of power settings are applied, and there's no tuning to these cars, so it's very much about the driver's skill, and the draft has become a key factor we've noticed all season long and last season. And decision making, tire management, and having a good strategy in these 60-minute endurance races really does pay off and go a long way as well. And we're not sure what the problem is, but Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is still off the track and parked motionless. I believe he had to step away from his screen for a moment. I'm really not too sure. He's currently scored in 12th position, the last car on the racetrack, and working our way through the rest of the field here. There's good battles all over the racetrack. JRB and Even Steven battling for the lead here. Pac-Man alongside Bill Baldwin. Bill gets a little bit sideways there, and there was nearly contact between the two. Those two are racing each other for the championship, so championship implications were nearly noticed there. Jesse Carlson driving the Jimmy Johnson paint job there. He runs in 5th in the Chevy Corvette. His teammate, that is Popeye right there, driving the Jeff Gordon number 24 DuPont Chevy Corvette. They're running 5th and 6th, always bring good cars, and they've got Percussive in the Toyota FT1 behind them. Daniel McGriff, Axia driving the Nissan GTR with the number 3 on it there. The Ford Mustang, Thomas Geyer, number 73, running in 9th, and Crazy Legs, the number 43 Chevy Corvette, runs in 10th. The battle for 10th is on actually there. That is the Hyundai, driven by Rob Oglesby with the Pizza Hut logos on it there. Got a sponsor deal for him. And we can let you know that Juicy J has pulled off the racetrack in the Nissan GTR. It looks like his day is done. And we're going to keep our eye on the battle for the lead. You're watching round 13 of the 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series right here on Gran Turismo Sport, live on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. 1 year since the drop of the green flag, that has been JRB, the pole sitter. He's got the defending champion all over his back bumper. Same corner as last lap. Bill looking to the inside of Pac-Man. Could not quite get the pass, and again gets a little bit loose there when he gets his left side tires on those particular rumble strips through that left-hander back there, and now he's still right there close enough to Pac-Man to use the draft to his advantage, but he needs to wait for a long high-speed straightaway. And problems, by the way, for Jesse Carlson. We can tell you that he's now back into the 8th position. We didn't see exactly what happened to him, but that's a tough break. He's all the way back into 8th. This puts his teammate Popeye all the way up into 5th, and Percussive now runs in 6th. Ataxia in the Nissan GTR runs in 7th. And just behind him, there you see, there's Jesse Carlson now running in 8th. And a couple of cars back, there's the Mustang, still a Maverick, running in 9th. And everybody has begun to get a little bit spread out on the racetrack, except for the drivers up here battling for not only for the lead, but also for 3rd and 4th. There's 2 different battles. One for a podium spot, one for the lead spot. A little deeper in the race now here at Kyoto Driving Park, and there's many different layouts to run at this track. They're running the Yamagiwa layout, and right now even Steven is putting a whole bunch of pressure all over the back of JRB. Right now though, Steven just went off course and all 4 tires were in the grass there. He went off the track completely, and it was an expert move and a veteran move to get back onto the racetrack without losing very much time and speed to JRB. And he's using every inch of the racetrack that he possibly can to try to get as much speed as he can to maybe get a run on JRB coming out of one of these turns, but so far to no avail. And he's doing really well, but so far, but at times, I mean, there's times when he uses too much racetrack and goes off course. Battle for 3rd and 4th is still on, way back from it. Well, I guess not necessarily way back, but a few corners back. It's Popeye still running in the 5th position, Percussive running in 6th, and Jesse Carlson has gained a lot of ground on the drivers that he lost ground to earlier in this race when he made that mistake and went off course, and he's since then rallied back and gotten around Ataxia. Maverick still running in 9th, Crazy Legs runs in 10th, Rob runs in 11th, and now pit stops have begun for the leaders. First set of green flag pit stops. These are 1-hour endurance races, and a lot of the times you see these drivers split up the pit stops and make it a 3 pit stop race. Stop every 15 minutes, and sometimes you see them stop every 20 minutes and make it a 2-stop race. Kind of depends on how much tire wear they're experiencing on their cars, how much they're pushing, what their strategy is. And we can tell you this, folks, didn't see how exactly it happened, but even Steven has taken the race lead away from JRB. JRB, the pole sitter, and he's led every lap since the drop of the green flag so far. He's even run the fastest lap of the race so far. He is now running in 2nd position behind the defending champion and defending NOSSCAR World Champion as well, and that is even Steven. And terrific work by Steven to get around JRB before the cycle of pit stops. I don't believe that these drivers have been on pit road yet. They might be thinking about a 2-stop strategy, and maybe not. No, that is not the case. I'm just going to go ahead and let everyone know now that they have made their pit stops, and it appears that all the drivers running up inside the top 5 have decided to go with a 3 pit stop strategy, and therefore they're going to pit every 15 minutes in this one. And later in this race, JRB has taken the lead back from even Steven. They're side by side here at Kyoto Driving Park. They're still going at it. They've been side by side for a couple of corners in a row now, and now they're back single file, but even Steven's not going to let them get away. Don't look now, folks, but Pac-Man in 3rd right there. Bill Baldwin right there as well, just about a corner and a half behind him. Percussive has worked his way up into 5th. Jesse Carlson is in 6th. There's Popeye, who was running in 5th. He was having a great run in the Chevy Corvette. He has since then dropped back a couple of spots into 7th. Ataxia in the Nissan GTR still runs in 8th. Maverick in 9th. Rob Oglesby has picked up a position, and he's now in front of Crazy Legs. They both run in 10th and 11th, still very close to each other on the racetrack. Juicy J off the track in 12th and done for the day. And this is what the battle for the lead looks like here at Kyoto Driving Park. To the inside goes Steven. Oh, and there was contact made just a little bit. They bounced off each other. JRB got into the grass with all 4 tires. And I'm surprised Steven didn't lift a little bit and show some courtesy, but we have a new leader again. Steven takes it back from JRB, and Pac-Man is now inching closer and closer in the 3rd position because they are busy and they're distracted, battling with each other side by side. So now it is a 3-horse race for the lead at Kyoto Driving Park, and Bill Baldwin is now in the same corner as these drivers and on the same straightaway as these drivers, and so keep your eye on Bill. He's the 2019 NOSSCAR Super GT Series champion and the current points leader in 2020 for that series. That, of course, is in the GR1 cars here on Gran Turismo Sport. And we're pretty sure they're coming up to pit stops again, and that would be the 2nd cycle of green flag pit stops in this race for these drivers. We can tell you even Steven has come to pit road and surrendered the lead rather. I forgot he had cleared JRB. And it's not going to be long until we see everybody else. Here they come, JRB, Pac-Man, Bill Baldwin, all on the same lap, all driving the Toyota FT1. They're on pit road for service, and what a quick stop that was. My goodness, the technology and how far things have come along over the years for the amazing sport and the amazing world of auto racing. And now they come out of pit road, and there you see what the advantage looks like for short pitting. Even Steven has taken the race lead, and it's a sizable margin, perhaps the biggest lead we've seen all race long. The defending champion is out front. JRB is in 2nd. There you see Pac-Man in 3rd. Bill Baldwin is in 4th, and the Toyota FT1 parade begins to try to run down even Steven. This is also the same lap for drivers like Jesse Carlson in the 48. He comes to pit road in the Chevy Corvette. He was up there running in 5th for most of this race at the start, lost some spots, went back to 8th, and he's since then been charging his way back forward slowly. He was 6th before this cycle of pit stops. He's taking extra fuel on this pit stop. There you see the ground he gave up. There's Popeye. He's going to take over the 5th position. I do believe Popeye has made his pit stop, so it's how they're all going to cycle through when this is all said and done. And the closest battle on the racetrack for position is actually going to be 2nd and 3rd between JRB, Pac-Man, maybe even Bill Baldwin as well. The top 4 kind of spread out a little bit right now, and meanwhile it's Popeye trying desperately to hold on for a top 5 finish over his teammates just behind him. Popeye had an off-course excursion there, and he's going to lose the 5th position in the process, and give it up for Jesse Carlson. He has now taken the 5th position back and trying to rally back for what would be an impressive top 5 finish after having early troubles. Final pit stop of the race for even Steven. He's been dedicated to the 3-stop strategy all race long. We only have about 15 minutes left in this race. This is round 13 of the 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series season, hosted right here on Gran Turismo Sport. 2nd annual season for this particular series, and it's been an exciting one to watch, folks. We go to the ovals, we go to the road courses, we go to road courses on this game all over the world, and we have drivers from all over the world, most places of the world, that enter these races, and put on a good show for the fans. We've had drivers from 4 different countries rather, win races here in the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series. That includes the United States, Canada, Great Britain, and of course Germany. I'll never forget the race. Ralsine entered last year and completely dominated the event. And now we're keeping our eye on the top 3. They are running in the Toyota FT1s, and it's JRB, Pac-Man, and Bill Baldwin in that order. And they're yet to make their final pit stops of this race, and it's unbelievably unlikely that they're going to try to stretch it from when they last pit all the way to the end of this race to the checkers. So expect them on pit road maybe this time or the next, and I think that it'll be this time so they avoid giving up as much ground to even Steven. Here they come. JRB on pit road, Pac-Man on pit road. Bill Baldwin stays on the racetrack an extra time. He's going to take over the race lead for now in the number 21 pink Toyota FT1. And there's even Steven. He now picks up those positions after the cycle of pit stops there. JRB back on track in 3rd behind even Steven. Pac-Man back on track in 4th. That was expected. Jesse Carlson runs in 5th in the Chevy Corvette. And how about Popeye, folks? Doing everything he can to rally back. He's in contention for spots with Jesse Carlson, his teammate, who runs in 5th, and Percussive, who's behind him in 7th, and he's trying to get the best he can out of that group of cars. Kind of depends on where they cycle out after the cycle of pit stops. I'm a little shocked that Bill Baldwin has not come to pit road yet. Here he comes. It was the next lap by, folks. Here he is, number 21. Breast cancer awareness car. You can see the ribbon on the front of the car just under the Toyota logo, and now he's away. But he's not going to be the leader at the end of this cycle, I don't believe. Let's see where he lines up. No, folks. Oh, no. He's back in the 4th position. And there's less than 12 minutes to go in this race, so unless something really changes, even Steven's got the advantage at this point. He's got a sizable lead. He may not have the freshest tires, but the tires that are on the cars that are the freshest are only fresher than even Steven's by a lap or 2. 1 lap extra fresh tires for JRB and Pac-Man, 2 lap fresher tires for Bill, but they're definitely not close enough to take advantage of any type of speed difference there might be. Coming into this race, even Steven, the points leader, Pac-Man in 2nd in the standings, Bill Baldwin in 3rd in the standings, and it's been a great season, a very competitive season. A lot of drivers have been in contention for the win every single week here. We've seen even Steven, Pac-Man, Bill Baldwin, JRB, Percussive. All these drivers have great runs. Never forget seeing Jesse Carlson win the race at Northern Isle Speedway. Definitely check that one out on the NOSSCAR YouTube channel if you haven't seen it yet. It's been a lot of feel-good moments and some good stories here in the 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series season, and it's only going to be more, folks. 3 more races after this one until we crown a champion, and all is looking good for even Steven in that department. And every now and then you do see the pink car, Toyota FT1, in the frame behind Steven coming into the picture. See if you can see it here. There, you see the pink car coming into the frame near the top. That is JRB, and it's going to be a battle for the win if he can get there in time. And he just might be able to do it. They're coming up on Popeye to put him 1 lap down. That'll leave 5 cars on the lead lap here, and likely that it'll stay that way until we see the checkered flags. You can see the car goes transparent. That is a safety rule for the NOSSCAR Super GT Series and here in the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series for the lapped cars to go ghost mode to just simply avoid controversy and avoid chaos perhaps, or in any incidents involving the leaders, so that way nobody's upset at the end of the events. And not even speaking from experience, just simply because we've never had that experience, because we won't allow it. We just simply have the cars that are a lap down go ghosted, and it also allows drivers that are new to this game come on out here and feel no pressure. They know they're not going to get in the way of these leaders, and they know that they can come out and log laps and just get experience and get a little bit more skilled and get better at the game at the same time. And there was a problem for JRB. JRB is going to drop back into the 4th position because of it, and he is now way behind Bill Baldwin, who is up into the 3rd position. Pac-Man is the closest challenger to even Steven. You can see Pac-Man pop into the frame behind Steven there, but he's not close enough. They're on their final lap now. Even Steven is looking to hold on for dear life, and if he can, it's going to be his 8th win of the 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series. And what a terrific season it's been for this driver. Not only here in the GT Cup Series, but the World Championship too. 3 events for the NOSSCAR World Championship this year in 2020, and they were driving the Super Formula cars, and Steven, he put on a blistering pace. He won all 3 races, and he was able to walk home the world champion for the 2nd straight year here in NOSSCAR, proving to be the top driver, arguably, here in NOSSCAR on the Gran Turismo game. And anytime he puts a full season together, he is the biggest threat, the #1 contender, if you will, for the championship. Pac-Man coming up to put a 2nd lap on Hellcat Maverick in the Ford Mustang. He's going to finish in 9th if all hold station. Even Steven does not have much further to go here at Kyoto Driving Park. It's the Kyoto Grand Prix, and even Steven is closing in on his 8th win of the season. Holds the record for the most all-time wins here in the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series, and he's going to get another one, folks. He does it again. It's amazing what he can do. Even Steven wins the Kyoto Driving Park Grand Prix. 8th win of 2020. History made yet again. Pac-Man's going to finish in 2nd. Bill Baldwin brings it home in 3rd. JRB's going to suffer after that on-track incident and finish in 4th. Jesse Carlson rounds out the top 5. Percussive is going to finish in 6th. Popeye in 7th. Ataxia in 8th. Thomas Geyer in 9th. Crazy Legs is going to round out the top 10. 12 drivers started this race, and 11 of them were running still at the checkered flag. So what a race, what a moment. Even Steven wins the Kyoto Driving Park Grand Prix. 5 cars finishing on the lead lap in this one. And we hope that everybody enjoyed the show. We would like to thank everybody who tuned in. We have 3 races left until we crown a 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series champion. We hope that you enjoyed today's broadcast. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.